Hello and welcome back to Teen Tunes with me, Elliot George. We haven't come up with a better name yet, but I'm sure that'll happen in due course. This is a series where we explore the stories of people within our team here in Drumfield, as well as those songs that help them resonate with God more deeply and help them in their journey of faith. And I'm very excited to be here at St Swithin's with a special guest. Thank you so much for joining me here this morning at St Swithin's. So my first question for you is, who are you and what do you do?
Well, thank you for inviting me, Elliot. I'm Jenny Banks and I live here in the village of Holmesfield. Michael and I used to live in Nether Edge in Sheffield, and we moved here 26 years ago.
Wow, okay.
And there's a member of the congregation here called Sandy Hastings,
Right.
and she sold her house to us.
Okay.
Yes, it never went on the market.
Fair enough. Wow.
So I felt there was a spiritual side to it from the minute we actually arrived. Yes.
What was your sort of church background before you came to Holmesfield?
Yes, it's quite a background really, because I think first of all, Elliot, I mentioned a great sadness. I lost my father. He committed suicide, and before then I didn't want to know about church.
Right.
I was a youngster who, yes, was brought up in the church, and then of course, 21, I left home.
Yes.
Didn't want to know anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was that. But when Dad died, when this happened, I did not know what to do. We'd only been in Sheffield a very short time. And so I went to the local church, which was open, and I just sat in the pew, and the vicar happened, just put his hand on my shoulder or whatever at the time, and gave me a lot of comfort.
Yeah.
And it was very, very tragic, yes, because having no family or anything. But from there, that was it. I became really Christian again.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So it sparked your faith almost.
It did. And then we moved into Nether Edge and lived opposite the vicarage. So it was to be St Andrew's Church, and where we had 2 children, and we were very involved in the community. It was great. But then, sadly, the building, our church became very unsafe, and we were told that we were to move, and where were we to go? So on a very wet, rainy morning in November, the Archdeacon arrived and the Salvation Army band, and off we marched down to Salter Lane Church, which wasn't too far, and we were welcomed there, and we eventually became an LEP. I think it was one of the first, where we had a Methodist minister and an Anglican, and the 2 men got on very well together, and they certainly sorted out a lot of worship.
Yes.
And then I became involved in, I became a pastoral worker.
Okay.
And that was a 2-year course. That was all new. And I was involved with baptisms.
Right, okay.
And working with children. And yeah, it grew. It's been a wonderful experience to see a church grow so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've obviously had such a varied involvement in all of
Yes,
that, which is
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So we're here exploring the music that connects us to God, and
Yes.
you've chosen quite an unusual song. I was expecting more hymns and worship music,
I know.
but you've chosen a Martina McBride song.
I have.
What's the name of the song, and how did you come across this song?
I think the song is called, let me just check, Love's the Only House, Big Enough for All the Pain in the World.
Right, okay.
And I was on quite a pilgrimage, really. Nick Helm, spiritual director in Sheffield at the time, he gathered us all from all churches at the Church Army College, and he introduced us to a book called Landmarks, An Ignatian Journey, and we spent a whole year on this amazing book, which is like a Bible.
Yes, it's pretty chunky. Yeah.
It is, and the amazing thing is, it was time for me. We give so much, always, and that's what a big thing that I learned from it all. Yes, yeah, and I went through so much guilt.
Yes.
But it was that it's something I've now made sure in the week, me time.
Yes, that's very important.
With God.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
So that CD that you brought there, the Martina McBride one,
yes.
that's one that's resonated with you in your Christian journey.
Yes, it did. Yes, because Nick was, we were playing hymns, we were praying, and he was leading us in worship that very day, and then suddenly it was all a bit stiff, everything, and suddenly he said, "I've got some music. I want you all to just relax and listen to."
Yeah.
And this was it.
Yeah.
And I was so taken by it because it is American, and I thought, gosh, where can I get this CD?
Yeah.
And so I managed to get it.
Yes. Brilliant.
And I do play it.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Especially when I think, we all get low.
Yes.
We all need uplifting.
Absolutely.
So I do. Yes, I do. Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
And this song, Love's the Only House.
Yes.
It's not a song that necessarily talks about God,
No.
but it talks about love in action. So
does.
has it helped you feel closer to God and
Yes.
have more sort of active faith?
Yes, it has, very much so.
Okay.
Yes.
With your pastoral work? And
Yes,
stuff?
my pastoral work, and also something else happened too. Out of the blue, I had an invitation to become a chaplaincy visitor at the hospital.
Great.
And we had interviews, we had training, a very varied group.
Okay.
And the hardest thing, I used to go in once a week to the Hampshire. We're very much supervised as well.
Okay.
But cold visiting is tough. Yes. It is. And this song helped me with that. Yes.
It reminds us that our love is not just something we bottle up, but we put it in action to help people around us, whether that's in hospital or on the streets or whatever. Yes,
it's true. Yeah, and especially non-believers.
Yes.
They're in bed and suddenly the newspaper goes up.
Yeah.
Don't want to know. Chaplain's visitor. They don't understand who we even were. And that's difficult because you're being rejected.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Absolutely.
So, but anyway, I certainly found love in a lot of other patients.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and some of your journey.
We're
going
to
hear a rendition of this song now, but Jenny, thank you for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It really is. Thank you for the privilege.
So we're going to hear a rendition by Megan of this song, Love's the Only House. Please do remember to subscribe and like the video and share it, and also have a think about whether you've got a song and a story that you'd like to share. We'd love to hear from you and have you in one of these videos. Thank you, see you soon.
Standing in the grocery store line, the one they marked Express, when this woman came through with about 25 things, and I said, don't you know that more is less? She said, this world is moving so fast, I just get more behind with every day. And every morning when I make my coffee, I can't believe my life's turned out this way. All I could say was love's the only house, the big enough for all the pain in the world. Love's the only house big enough for all the pain. You drive 3 miles from all this prosperity, and you see a ghetto there. And we got children walking around with guns, and they've got knives with drugs and pain to spare. And here I am in my clean white shirt with a little money and a nice warm home. We got teenagers walking around in a culture of darkness, living together alone. All I can say is love's the only house big enough for all the pain in the world. Love's the only house big enough for all the pain. And I can't explain it, and I can't understand, but I'll come down and get my hands dirty, and together we'll make her stand. She came down to the grocery store and she said, I wanna buy a little milk, but I don't have any money. I said, hey, I'll cover you, honey, 'cause the pain's gotta go somewhere. Yeah, the pain's gotta go someplace. So come on down to my house. Don't you know that love's the only house big enough for all the pain in the world? Love's the only house big enough for all the pain. Love's the only house big enough for